My name is Joe Paulus. I live in Wheaton, Illinois, and I first learned about fracking because I was concerned about Starved Rock, Illinois, where now frack sand is being mined, and I learned about it from Sierra Club. Then I went to Springfield because we were fighting for a moratorium in Illinois, and it was a very grassroots effort. In short story, my representative from Wheaton, Illinois said, oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. What's the signal? Oh. So anyway, when the regulatory bill passed, it created regulatory certainty. My representative actually called it the Sierra Club bill. Sierra Club, the Resources Defense Council, and other big greens had sat with the oil industry and thought that they could affect good rules. Well, I just want to say in short that once the rules are passed, that makes it legal for fracking to begin. In Illinois right now we have maybe only 50 active wells. They're called experimental. I know you all know what fracking is. I'm not going to go into it except to say our bill was passed for high volume hydrofracture horizontal fracking, which means with water, and it means you'd have more than 300,000 gallons. Well, we're going to be using nitrogen, acids, and other chemicals. So ours may be unregulated as it is. I'm just going to give you a short example. I've been studying the rules. Right now, somebody else will talk about this in my group. We're working to send JCAR, which is the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules, messages on why these rules are insufficient. I'm just going to give you one example, and then I'm going to sit down. All right, you have to have insurance. That is early in the rules, and you have to have each insurance has to cover injuries up to $5 million. And I'm thinking, who's going to insure the frackers? I don't know. It could be the state. I don't know. But the catch is, when you read later in the rules, it is not to exceed, penalties are not to exceed, for each and every act, $50,000. So when you carefully look at the rules, you just see they are truly written by the industry, for the industry. And right now, several of our representatives are saying, well, the frackers don't want the rules either. Well, the more I read, the more I think they just wrote them. And that's another ploy and another way to dupe us. It's really a grassroots effort, and that brings us back to the climate march. Really, folks, it's us. We have to get out there. We have to do this.
And I want to tell you, all you climate people, that we had an historic thing happen in our state. We had a regulatory bill that was so bad that live earthquakes were places that were being fracked, or would be fracked. We have all different kinds of protections for our water, and they were going to come in and frack right there, regardless of the 17 counties this water would cover. So we had an historic thing happen. When the regulatory bill, which was no real regulations, passed, there were rules governing how this bill would be enforced. And for these rules, we had public hearings. We had public comments. 34,000 people in Illinois commented on various rules that were inadequate, wrong, and a slap in Illinois' face.
I'm not trying to come through.
Okay. It's hard to begin there. Okay. The slap, yeah, oh, it's all in here. A slap, yes. And what happened then is that the regulatory agency sat up for the first time, it was called IDNR, sat up and said, wait a minute, this is challenging. Wait a minute, we've got to do something. We can't just let it go. We had 5 public hearings. This is Illinois. People have been kind of quiet in Illinois. 5 public hearings. And we're 3 states, I don't know if you realize that, in one. Because we go from north to south, like this. North is basically Chicago. The middle is basically farming and university. And the south is farming also, but just more like, we border Kentucky, and they're more like, you go down there and you say, this is Illinois? This is God's little acre. So we have all these different people come to 5 hearings. You know how many people approximately were there? 500. I was at the Chicago hearing, and we blasted them. They came up, they were sure, but that was all a front, because they saw 500 people. They gave us limited time. It was Thanksgiving. We had they came out for the holidays. So they gave us 1 week to look at all these pages of rules. And people came up and they went from rule 1 to rule whatever it was, and they talked about each and every one of them. So right now we're fighting. Illinois, we're fighting. We're fighting the frackers. The frackers are after the legislators, they're after the land, they're after the people who gave the money for the land, and they're saying, we want to frack. But we're on the other end saying, stop. They passed the law, we're trying to strengthen the rules. What are we trying to strengthen? Hey, let's not have earthquakes where we expect an earthquake between now and 50 years, and that's in southern Illinois.